Massive action plan is the only way to take back control of your life. What's up, millionaires in the making? Welcome back to another Car Talk with Ty. And today we're talking about massive action plan, or MAP. Every journey starts with a destination in mind, and the only way is to know the exact roadmap, or in this particular instance, the exact map to get from where you are now to where you want to go. Now, over the last 15 years, I've been helping fitness professionals, entrepreneurs start to map out their lives, their businesses, and go from being confused and drifting to having clarity and focus. And the way that I've done this with folks is by sharing my roadmap framework with them. Roadmap stands for review, organize, align, define, and then to make a massive action plan. In today's video, we're focusing on the map aspect. So let's just get into it. The massive action plan is built on a few core aspects. First, you do need to review where you are right now, where you're going versus where you want to be going. Start to organize your ideas, organize your thoughts. Then we align everything. You have to really take a look at who you are right now versus who you need to be, or what your business is now versus what your business needs to be. And then you can start to structure things in the right direction. You have to define it. Be very specific with the destination. The more you define your destination, the easier it is to actually have a map and create your map, create your massive action plan. Many years ago, I was introduced to this framework called WHOOP. Now, I've modified it slightly for MITM Club members, and I've actually refined it and made it a little bit better. Now, WHOOP stands for this. First, what is your wish? Or what do you want? Write it down. Doesn't matter how big it is. Okay. In fact, I encourage you to think even bigger than you currently do. You've been thinking too small for most of your life. The only way to have massive change and massive action is to think bigger than you ever have. And very interestingly, when I went through this book called 10X by Grant Cardone, he says, whatever you think your goal is, 10X that goal. Think 10 times bigger. In fact, another book called 10X is better than 2X talks about the same concept in depth. But if you guys want those books, definitely read them. They will help you. But if you want to save time, just watch the end of this video and I'll pretty much give you the breakdown of those books also. So define what you want. What do you want? Why do you want it? What will change in your life? Which actually goes to the O. So first, what do you want? Second, what is the outcome or the opportunity that will come along with getting what you want? This is the first O in WHOOP. Okay? If you were to make more money, what does that do for your life? How does that change your life? If you were to build and scale this business, what does that do? How does that change your life? How will it make things different? Heck, if you were to launch this company, launch this business, and to do something meaningful with it, how many lives would you change? Why is it important? Why is it vital for you to launch this company and launch this business? What is the outcome? What is the opportunities? Okay. Now we have our wants, we have our outcomes and opportunities. What are the obstacles? What are the roadblocks that are going to get in your way? I want you to actually think of every single thing that will stop you from getting to your goals, and start with the internal things. What are the internal things? What are the things about you that would stop you from reaching your goals? What are the habits that you have? What are the mindset that may need to change that you have? What are the internal things that are stopping you from your goals? What are the roadblocks? And then the external. Okay. What are the communities that you're around? What's happening in there that may stop you from reaching your goals? What's happening in the economy and society that may stop you from getting to your goals? And I don't want you to write these because there's some sort of a limiting belief. No, I want you to write them because we're going to use them in the next step. So you have our want or wish. We have the outcome or the opportunity that's going to happen with this. We have our obstacles, what's going to get in our way. Now that we have those initial things, we can start to say, okay, what's our plan? How are we going to get around? How are we going to get under? How are we going to get over? How are we going to break through? What is the plan for every single one of those things that you just listed that you said would get in your way from getting to your goals? If you said, hey, you know what? My roadmap right now is I'm trying to get to 10% body fat. I want to have a ripped 6-pack abs. I want to look good on the beach this summer. Amazing. That's amazing. You already did the review. How heavy are you right now? What's your body fat percentage right now? What's your fitness level? What's your strength level? You already did the review. Okay, why do you want to get ripped? What will happen differently once you are ripped? What's the opportunities that can happen? Will more girls like you? Will people respect you a little bit more? Will you have different business opportunities? Will you have better posture? I don't know. What will happen for you? What'll get in your way? Like, I'm a recovering chocoholic. I love chocolate. I love cookies. And if it was up to me, I probably would never have a 6-pack, because the biggest internal thing is that I love sweets. I love sweets more than I should. And the external thing is maybe, oh, I don't have a gym membership. Or maybe I don't know the workouts to do. I don't know how to do it. Those are external. Okay, what's your plan? Listen, I'm not gonna have any sweets in my house. In fact, I'm gonna get some chocolate rice cakes so I still can manage my sweet tooth while still keeping low calories. I don't know how to work out, so I'm gonna sign up for this gym and I'm gonna get a personal trainer. I'm gonna sign up for online coaching, so at least I have a plan. Okay, good. You started to map out plans to get around your obstacles. And the last aspect of Whoop is punishment. And a lot of people get on my case about calling it punishment. They think it's too negative. So let's say punishment or pressure. Now, when we think about punishment or pressure, it's like, what is the worst possible thing that will happen if you do not make this goal a reality? What is the worst possible thing that will happen to you, to your loved ones, to your life? Think about a future timeline where you hate your life because you didn't make this goal a reality. Think about it. What's the worst possible thing? Sit with it. Write it down. I used to say, if I don't make my goals a reality, I'm going to be 30 years old, fat, sitting in my grandma's basement, Cheeto dust on my chest, no bitches, no Lambo. I hate my life. That stresses me out. I don't want to think about that. I don't want my life to be that. That would be my punishment. Or maybe I got to put some pressure on me. The pressure is, if I'm not fit by a certain time, if I don't reach these goals by this time, I won't be in a position to build the family that I want. I won't be able to attract my dream girl to me. I won't be a 9 out of 10 striving to be a 10 out of 10. I'll probably be a 1 out of 10. I don't know. What's the punishment? And it has to be something that moves you. Something that you're like, nah, there's no way this could happen. If I don't make this business happen, my punishment is I'm going to have to go back to working a 9 to 5. I'm going to have to go back to a 9 to 5. I'm not going to have my freedom. I'm not going to be able to travel the way I want. No, what is your punishment? Write something that you would hate what happened. Now you have your map. Where you want to go, what things are going to get, why you want to get there. I put a timeline in there. I want to get there by this time because what's going to get in my way? How am I going to overcome these things that I can think of that will get in my way? What's the worst thing that can happen if I don't make this happen? And that's the map. All right. There's so many tools nowadays that could actually help you guys, including using AI prompts to go through the roadmap framework, to go through a review, to get organized, to align your vision, to define your goals, to decide and cut off any other option, because options will not drive you. And then to make your massive action plan. These are so vital. And that pretty much wraps up today's video. I will talk to you later. Peace.